hard to do business. They also were interested in this. It was something that appealed to them. Low taxes and minimum government. We were promised this, and we got into this, and things were going along all right, and suddenly crabapple happened. And isn't this strange? So I started going to the meetings in the Planning Commission and otherwise. And during one of the budget meetings, I actually heard the same lady that was sitting over there start talking about it's inevitable, we're going to have high-density development here because of the city budget. And so we're going to have to start doing zoning variances and doing these things that basically result in the same thing we've seen before. And I said, I've got to do something about this. So I decided to run. And this is my first time around, but when I think about it, and I ask you all to think about this too, why can't we do what we were promised? So many of us came here seeking this, and it's trying to be taken away from us. Why can't we actually run a government like they were told? I think one of the characteristics of the people in Milton that's similar to Mr. Lackey up there is a degree of self-reliance. You all have transformed this community. It was poor but proud. Now it's very dynamic and an exciting place to live because of the people that have come in here and moved in here and brought all of the creativity and drive and standards that they have that unfortunately, I know the folks that moved down here from the other states, it was the thing that targeted them for high taxes and you know what it is. So I think with people that are self-reliant, do they really isn't it possible to have a government that doesn't provide all the services, but you can have services that local citizens or local companies can provide, where it doesn't cost the government anything and this company pays taxes and you have competition. Zoning, why can't we have a special place where we do protect what we have? And it becomes a desirable place to live. You see places like this. I notice when I travel on business up in New England and other places that these special areas, and it's a resource, an asset. I don't believe that we need a large government that puts other things ahead of the citizens. One of the last meetings that I went to was a developer was talking about crabapple, and after that it was this group that came in and builds city halls, and they had some examples of these city halls, and they had marbles and wood paneling and huge amounts of money. And the guy ended by saying, we should have this so people feel so proud of their city and they can bring people to City Hall and show them and say, this represents our town. You know what was going through my mind? I was wondering what Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette were thinking when they were waiting in line for the guillotine about that concept of Versailles being such a wonderful place that people would love it. We don't. To me, the glory of Milton, and what's wonderful about it is what you see when you drive down these areas that we have. It's, to me, it's comparing the glory of God versus the folly of man. One of them is the beautiful areas that we have, we maintain, and the other is this unbridled development. The other thing is development itself. I'm not against development. I think it needs to be done correctly. And it is possible, and I'll tell you how. The problem we have, and it seems like the pattern is always the same in these nascent cities, is they start up, and it seems that the people that get in the position of power, somehow there's something in the background, and usually it's developers, and what they are trying to do is look for developable land and go in and do it. It's sort of a clean sheet of paper. They're businessmen, I understand that. But it is up to the people that are in the government to actually develop it in a way that adds to the quality of life of the citizens. And it seems like the citizens are kind of put out on the sideline. And Highway 9 is really a perfect example of this. The development that's going on there is being developed because it's a developable property. And this is normally what you see is looking at a map. This is developable. Well, no one really seems to ask the people around there, what type development do you want? They probably would like to have development, but they would like to have a say-so exactly what you put in there. Why build stores when you already have some stores empty? There are quite a few along Highway 9, and I think your typical small grocery stores, they'd probably love to have a farmer's market out there. Why don't you ask people? We know actually they do that, and you do have good development. You know, where I've always seen it is in the redevelopments. Some of the towns around here have been redeveloped. They're really nice. I think they conform with what the community wants. They're tasteful, and it should have been done that way the first time. Why can't we do that as well? Parks, the thing that I think is also important in a community is to have some parks that people can go to kind of unwind if you live in a dense area. My sister, we used to live in Marietta. My sister has a place that's that's near Kennesaw Mountain. The National Park Kennesaw Mountain is something you can just go and walk and unwind. This place is the same where we live. I'd love to have this be a community park as well. We need, as a community, to have that, and we need, as a community, to preserve the rural areas that we do have as well, just for this quality of life. Think about that. If you have this, what type of citizens will we have here? It's going to be people that don't demand as much as government, probably all the services will be less, and more people want to live here, and that will drive the price of the property up. I think the other thing to achieve that, besides having good standards for development, setting them and following them, is going to be good schools. I think everyone needs that for your children, your quality of life. And the third is some predictability in government and knowing that they do, in fact, obey the charter. The thing that, in my real brief time in looking at this, I've learned just by going on the Milton website, which is excellent, that we have a charter that really fits what I want, what we want. It defines this, and it's being ignored by at least the person I'm running against, and it defines really what we want. That's what I would like to do, and I really think we can achieve it. I'm just the same as you. We're neighbors, but someone had to step up and do this, and I've chosen to do it. Thank you all.